Hello everybody. How are we doing? Good morning, sort of, yeah? Afternooning. Good afternoon, good evening. Good morning, wherever you are in the world right now. We are live on a Monday. Oh. Gotta hear the tunes. Doing well, currently listening to Flight of the Eisenstein at work. That is a top-notch book. Where's it gone? I had the captain. Huh. That's awkward. Today we're going to be building a Terminator Captain. I just don't know where it's gone. How peculiar. Very peculiar. I have too many possessions. Unless it's around the corner. It could be round the corner. I could have thrown it away in a huff. Hang on. Nope. This is really odd. Where is it? I don't like this. I've gone weird. I had it right here next to me. It is now no longer in the position where I left it. I'm annoyed now. I'm very annoyed. How have I lost a model? What's that? That is not it. Oh, God's sake. Okay. This is very, very, very strange. Anyway. How are you guys doing? Have you still got all your mental faculties? Can you still find all of your things? You guys will be pleased to hear that I built Alfarius. Alfarius has been built and Alfarius has been primed. So we have a what have you lost? I've lost the model I was going to build, and I had it 10 minutes ago. Literally had it in my hand. And now the universe is just gaslighting me, you know. This is really, really, really strange. But I can't think anywhere else it could be. Hang on. Oh, what a disappointment. This means that somehow I've purchased a model, it's in this room, but it does not want to come out and play at all. And this is all I wanted to do today. Ah, finally! Found it. Found it. Don't worry, crisis averted. It's all good. It's all good. Found it. Ah. 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 The relief. The relief. Oh. Well, there we go. There we go. Oh, dearie me. What a day. What a day. What size base does a Terminator Captain come on these days? Is it 50 mil? You can get back to... Yeah, I can. No. I ordered, what's his name? Evander... Is it Evander Garius? The tyrant of thingy or whatever it was called. I ordered that guy. Because I saw a cheap one. No, not Holyfield. Yeah, Evander Garius, the Tyrant of Chthoniya. It's the big Chungus one. Chungus Imperial Fist. Here it is. Whee! So yeah, we're gonna build this guy today. We're gonna chat. We're gonna hang out. It's the last day of March. Can you believe it? This is the last day of the first quarter of the year. We're on. Actually, I think we're actually on more models than that. 165. Let me just check my. Let me check my notes. Model completion. There it is. So we have done 3, 4, 5, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 23, which would put it on 172. We're on actually 172 to be precise. Just, my goodness me, I'm having a bit of a strange day. Thoughts on Cathay? I haven't had any since I saw them. Might we be seeing some Crimson Fists along with this Imperial Fists push? I'm going to tentatively wait and see what the that announced thing in the pictures was at the preview. The preview showed a picture of a fist, and that usually means that there's an Imperial Fist nearby. But if the Imperial Fists are getting a Codex supplement, for example, then that might mean that Pedro is coming for Crimson Fists, or more stuff for the Crimson Fists might come on the way then. So I'm gonna wait and see what happens there, because I don't wanna the curse of the YouTuber. I don't want to paint a Crimson Fist or anything like that, and then the new one comes out and I have to do it again, because it sucks. I just realised I've missed some bits of awesome support from you guys. Mark Watson's been a member for 44 months. Good afternoon, buddy. Good afternoon to you too. And Tattooed Zoologist has gifted one of the finest Warhipster memberships. Like a boss. Thank you so much. That puts us on 375. And Edward has been a member for 20 months. Can you believe it, Edward? It's just insane. Only the faithful, he says. Only the faithful. Morning all. First time tuning in. I have to say, Josh, you are an absolute legend. You have been an inspiration for me to get back into Warhammer after 15 years. Thank you, mate. You're very welcome, Ryan. Welcome back. Wait. Bard's family before Mirkwood Elves. Sad. No. Tomorrow's video... There will be a video tomorrow. Tomorrow's video will either be the Shrine statue, which is available now, early, for Lucky Ducks and Patreon. Or I'll get the Stardrake edited. And yesterday, I ordered the Warriors of the Last Alliance, because it finally came back in stock. So now Rivendell elves are on the way, which means I'll be able to do the Galadrim, the Rivendell elves, Warriors of the Last Alliance elves, and the Mirkwood elves all together as one big happy family, one big video, which is what I wanted to do with it. Because Contrast plus How to Paint Mirkwood elves won't do very well, but maybe Contrast plus How to Paint the elves of Lord of the Rings will do quite nicely. I hope. Maybe we'll give it an in-universe name like we did with the Battle Force for Rohan and Mordor. No, Isengard. Do you have a painting tutorial on a Tree Lord? I have a stream. If you go into one of my live streams, I painted a Tree Lord. Can I sponsor a tutorial for how to handle Bard's family, namely a large brick and or cinder block? Step 1, apply models to the desk. Step 3, satisfaction. Yes. Are you going screen for Mirkwood or the weird GW box art choice for them? That is a good question. Which would you prefer? That section of the video is entirely for you, sir. Screen, please. Okay, let me look at the screen. Mirkwood elves. Images. Or am I going to have to watch the film? It's kind of gold, right? Or it's more of a, like, it's closer to a brassy colour. There are some terrible pictures. Okay, I mean, look, I can pull up a still of the film at some point. Look at the Weta Workshop statue they made. Okay, yeah, that makes more sense. I'm not a Space Marine kind of guy, but your ECs look awesome. I hope you got the views your work deserved. Yeah, the Emperor's Children has done very well for your old pal Josh. As you can see, we're sat nicely on 82,000 subscribers. So I guess we've just got to hope that whenever Fulgrim and that comes out, that we do just as well with those. Of course, I have to paint them, and I have to do a good job on them as well. You've done a Star Trek video, now I'm going to have to buy one. Yes, yes. Question on the hammer tutorial. Did you intend to not do the lighter horse muzzle and the bridge of the horse's face lighter? What did I do? Oh, it's the hammer. Yeah. Oh yes, because the Prince Hammer of Rohan model. It has. Yeah, he's got a slightly thinner. Yeah, I just didn't want to spend the time doing the blending, which is why I didn't do it. And I thought it was like, it's such a small section that it wasn't worth adding that to the model. I don't think it enhanced it particularly much, which is why I didn't do it then. I heard Star Trek then. How would you approach Captain Janeway? Respectfully. How's everyone? Sorry I'm late. You're not late, Yamail Angmar. You're all good. Rip Estena. Why? The Estena model video is out. We've done Estena Brighthall. Boo doo boo 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 boo. Right, let's get the show on the road, shall we? Here it is, Terminator Captain, the multi-part version. I'm very excited for Loyalist Space Marines, and I can't tell you why, I just am. There's no rhyme or reason behind it, it's just an exciting time to be a Space Marine fan. For me, for some reason. I'm kind of, like, I have big plans. I've always got big plans, you know me. I have big plans for stuff I would love to paint, stuff I want to paint, armies I would love to have. One of those is a set of 1,000-point armies for the 9 first foundings. And Space Wolves, obviously, I've done a bunch of Space Wolf videos on the channel, because we did the Combat Patrol, we've done Ragnar Blackmane, we've done Space Wolves Tank. And I was thinking the other day about, well, yeah, like I said, I put the Imperial Fist Gravis Captain video out. I don't know if you guys have seen that. If you have, thank you. If not, give it a like next time you're online. Just like you should be liking the stream. We need to get to 50 likes. So yeah, I'm kind of enjoying, like, sort of making up projects I would love to do. And like one of those is, I think I want to get a couple more gladiator tanks. I want to paint big yellow tanks. And I want to just like put together 1,000 points of Imperial Fists, and then similarly I also want to put together 1,000 points of Salamanders. We started a Salamanders project when the 10th edition came along. As some of you will remember, we did the Terminator Chaplain, and we did 5 of the multi-part Terminators, and we did the Stern Guard multi-part kit as well. We did that all as Salamanders, so we got a decent start on a Salamanders collection. And Imperial Fists, I'm like, yeah, get a couple of gladiators, some more Gravis stuff. That would also work really well as Imperial Fists. And I just had that Imperial Fists Captain. Well, no, I just had that Gravis Captain model, and I've had it since it came out, basically in the Kill Team box. I didn't get the Kill Team box, but I did order the character because I really wanted it, because I thought it was sick. And then I haven't done anything with it, so it's like a 3-year-old kit that's just been sat as a sprue on my thing. Pridders, thank you very much for the £10 super chat. I've somehow finished a total of 110 models this year, 86 painted and based, 24 just based. Wouldn't have done that many without following your tutorials and improving my use of contrast, so thank you. It's very kind of you, Pridders. Thank you very much for the 10. That is very, very, very kind of you. I'm glad I could help. That's very productive. This needs clearing. Is Sigismund going to be part of this Fists painting series? Did he ever come back in stock? I checked it the other day. He wasn't in stock. But yes, Batman has asked for a Sigismund. And also he gave a super chat to fund said Sigismund. So I've been waiting for it to come in stock. And obviously I miss stuff when it comes back in stock every so often, but it's on my list of things. It's Sigismund and Thranduil are the two main Forge World purchases one needs to make. That looks clear to me. Leave that for a moment. Would you say the new Orc Kill Team skin is the new way to do Orc skin for you versus the base coating with Auric flesh from the old Commandos video? Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, it's just quicker doing it with Gut Ripper flesh, to be fair. And you kind of get almost exactly the same tone out of it anyway. So yeah, it is probably how I would suggest doing it from now on. Like I say, it's all about speed and efficiency. Gut Ripper flesh shaded with a little bit of well, you can use Poxwalker or Baletan green depending on what you want, or you could use a different green if you wanted a slightly different tone of green, or you could not shade it at all if you like Gut Ripper flesh by itself. But yeah, Auric flesh is a really nice paint. It's beautiful, but Gut Ripper flesh basically gives you the same thing. It's just quicker to do it that way, I think. Right. Hopefully the glue is working now. Have to occasionally clear the barrel. I had a very busy weekend building lots and lots of miniatures. Because this week's going to be a bit rough. For me, I'm very, very, very busy this week. Unexpectedly so as well. Oh, come on. Why aren't you working? I literally just cleared the barrel. Maybe I didn't. Hello, Zestrobbing fish. Ugh. Oh, I think we got something. God, we've had a lot of skill issues already today. Yeah, that looks significantly clearer. Yeah. Okay, now we'll leave it and wait a few more minutes. Means I can talk to you a little bit more. So yeah, I built a bunch of miniatures over the weekend. Didn't have a single problem, and clearly I've gummed up the applicator by just powering through. And now we've come to build again. It's like, no. No. Good evening, Josh. Evening, everyone. Got the stream running, but got my old Moor up for dinner for her Mother's Day. Oh, that sounds lovely, Stoogie. Happy Mother's Day to all mothers. I'm busy with my version of Abraxia. Had some help from Josh's tutorial. All the highlights left, though. Trying to muster up the energy after a hard day's work. You can do it, Keith. And if you can't do it in the next half an hour, that's okay. And if you can't do it in the next hour, that's also okay. Always give yourself time off. Those GW glue applicators are bleh. I like them. When they're not gumming up like this, I like them. I like the pop because it stands up straight. I don't like them when they fall on their side. That annoys me. The Batman is here. Hello, Batman. I'm talking about you just a minute ago. You'll be pleased to hear that Alfarius is built. Alfarius is primed. Alfarius is ready for a paint job. Alfarius was going to be painted today, but then Josh Farius had to change his schedule considerably. But he is 2 steps closer to being ready to go. The important steps. As it were. Hey man, I want to pop in and say thank you for your yellow tutorials. They are the reason I can be so happy with my yellow Votan and my first and only, so far, Imperial Fist Marine. Oh, you and me both, buddy. But you're very welcome. I'm glad I could help. What about Sigismund? I tried to order him at the weekend. Still out of stock. Right, the glue's working now. He might have come back in stock since, but I haven't seen it. I can go and check in a minute. We need component number 4. You know what was in stock, though, Batman? It was Evander Garius, the Tyrant of Chthoniya. The big Cataphractii Imperial Fist character. So, do you know what? I thought, I'll buy him. So I bought him. Sigismund is in stock, apparently. Oh, he is in stock, is he? Okay. They've clearly had a productive Monday morning. Let me deal with this. I'm just cleaning up a bit. What day should I be here for the Alfie? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. It will be a video. This week and next week, I'm very, very, very busy. So it's unlikely to happen this week or next week. But after that, I don't have many plans. I have one miniature I have to do. For a cool YouTube product. Elden Ring fans, you'll know what I'm talking about. Because that model is also built and primed. Malekith, the Black Blade. Sigismund, first captain of the Imperial Fist. Says temporarily out of stock. But if I click on him, it says add to cart. Do we take the risk? Hey Josh, long time no see. It's been a little while since I caught a stream of yours. What kind of Sons of Dawn are we building today? We are building a Terminator Captain. This will be the second of 2 characters for my burgeoning Imperial Fist project. My Imperial Fist project, so I've bought... Hang on, let me tell you. Let me tell you now. Whilst we think about other things to put in the cart, if we're going to put other things in the cart. So, the first 1,000 points of my Imperial Fists. Captain in Gravis armor, Captain in Terminator armor, which we've got. Heavy Intercessor squad, which I have 5 of. I need to build, as in 5 miniatures, not 5 squads. I need to get another Heavy Intercessor squad. I need to get an Eradicator squad, a Gladiator Lancer, and then I've got 10 Terminators that I'm going to build and paint for it. So I need to get a Gladiator Lancer, Eradicator squad, a Heavy Intercessor squad. So, and then that's the first 1,000 points of the Imperial Fists. For Salamanders fans, I need to get another Captain in Terminator armor. Aggressors, 2 squads of 5 Infernus, and another Terminator squad. So I basically need to get the Combat Patrol for the Salamanders. And 5 more Infernus Marines. Yeah, that's what I need to do. So I need to get a Combat Patrol. Space Marines Combat Patrol. Good lord. No, that's Chaos Space Marines. Space Marines Combat Patrol. Oh yeah, there it is. That is 100 Earth pounds. It's quite rich for my blood. Gladiator Lancer. What about you? You're 57. That's 157. Heavy Intercessors. 140. It's £199.50 for a box of Heavy Intercessors. Aggressors. £208.50. Sorry, £238.50. And Eradicators. £275, near enough. Cheaper to buy the starter box. Yeah. Well, let's try and order. Let's try and order Sigismund, shall we? Do they have any Hoeth Blue? No, they don't. I need a pot of Hoeth Blue. I don't want to just order a pot of Hoeth Blue from a independent. It's fine. Sign in. Oh, we need to check, see if Thranduil is in as well. Thranduil! No, see, he has notify when available on. So, there you go. Alright. Check out now. Sigismund, first captain of the Imperial Fists. Proceed. Bad payment method. Are you still going to Board Game Expo in Birmingham? Yes, I am going to the UK Games Expo on the Saturday. I only got the one day. The one day ticket. Let's just bang it on that card. That's the one that the YouTube money goes into. By now. Okay, so as far as the website is concerned, Sigismund, first captain of the Imperial Fist, has been ordered. That means we'll have all of the heresy characters. I think. But yes, I will be at UK Games Expo for anybody who's planning to go. I saw. What do you think about the reveals for Old World? I've got quite the feeling those models looking damn good. You are completely correct there, Hilbert Gerald. I've seen as well some really funny back and forths about the Cathay miniatures, which was really funny. In that I saw a lot of people being like, huh, "Really cool models for Old World. Tells you all you need to know about how Age of Sigmar's dying." But the number one comment I've seen about the Cathay models is, "Oh look, my new Cities of Sigmar project." Which is what I was inclined to say they would be for me. I was like, "Yep, those are going straight into a Cities of Sigmar army." If Games Workshop does send them to me, I do apologise, but they will be put on round bases. Do you have the other first captains? No, I don't. I have... the one I've wanted for ages is Ralderon, because, you know, Blood Angels. But he has also always been out of stock. The only other one I have done, Horus Heresy-wise, in terms of first captains, I did the Master of the Keshig himself. I did Chin Shah. There's a video on how to paint this. There he is. Hang on. I'll show you on the actual camera where you can see things. He's a bit dusty, but there he is. Chin Shah. I love painting this. I need to give him a little dust. Hang on. He's just been living on the desk. As an example of one of my favourite miniatures I've painted recently. Dusting, 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 dusting. There we go. There he is. So yeah, I did him. He goes with my Jagatai. Helpfully. No Sevatar. That's not good. We're going to need some new Night Lords. They are very similar to me. I did do the Nemesis Claw video. And unfortunately, that is kind of just... That's the video for all Night Lords ever. So it's kind of like... how does one make an interesting video that does anything different? Other than the Nemesis Claw video. Which is a bit of a shame. Hello, Jason. Hello, Jason. Can't wait for all the Cathay dragons. So glad they are plastic and not resin. Oh, yeah. Was the catapult fun? Which catapult? I promise those Cathay models will get more use on games other than Old World. Yeah, exactly. Kind of funny that Old World players are the only base that are actively hoping for another system to die. Well, yeah, exactly. It's because it happened to them once and they want everyone else to feel the same pain. Look, I think Cathay is coming at a really good time. For Old World, it's coming right off the back of them finally finishing actually getting the edition released. Because Wood Elves and Beastmen are the last two factions for Old World. So they've been announced, and then Cathay being announced at the same time was really, really good. Really, really good for them. Because otherwise, I think a lot of questions would have been asked about whether or not it worked, whether or not it was actually popular. And the fact that they released it just shows that there is going to be further support going forward, which is great for the game. And, you know, Cathay releasing, to me, indicates that Old World has been a success for them. I think if it hadn't been a success, you wouldn't be seeing Cathay. I think we'd be waiting a little bit more to see if sales picked up once the whole lot was out. And it's impressive, I think, for them to have done the whole thing in the space of... It's been a year, hasn't it? It's been a year since Old World returned. Granted, it's only 9 factions, so it's just over a year because it's now March and it released in January last year. I think. My sense of time is all screwed. Cheers for the Emperor's Children videos. Watched them all several times and I still can't decide a scheme. I'm sorry, Davros. I'm glad you liked the videos. Well, I hope you liked the videos. I just assumed. You might be thanking me for making it worse. I don't know. Does that Cathay reveal mean that Kislev won't be far behind? Both Kislev and Cathay got teased way before Old World came out, so I hope they still make them as a faction. I think the thing to bear in mind is Old World, the reason Old World left was because it was a financial failure. Pots of paint, individual pots of paint. This is the legend says the individual pots of paint, like Nuln Oil, were outselling the entirety of the Warhammer Fantasy Battles range. That's how badly no one cared about Warhammer Fantasy Battles, because it's an ancient game system that has, you know, that has limitations on what it could do. The design language was all quite old. All they were going to have to do, like, they'd run out of places to, like, suddenly discover a new faction, and they wanted to do be a little bit more creative with it and do some more interesting things with it. So it was killed off in order to try and generate some cash for the game with Age of Sigmar. And of course they reset the whole thing, and now, you know, we have Age of Sigmar where you get the models that you get now. Whereas if you tried to release things like, I don't know, if you tried to release things like Alariel in on the Wardroth Beetle, and you tried to have that on a square base fighting off against, you know, Empire handgunners and stuff, it would have just, like, the design language would have been all over the place for ages. So I completely get why they did it. Now, Old World returning is a risk on Games Workshop's part because it was killed off because it was a financial failure. So they were resurrecting a financial failure. They were resurrecting a lost leader, which is something you generally as a business don't really want to do. Unless the lost leader does something like improves your growth considerably. But the point of all this is that I think even now they got to wait and see if Cathay sells. If Cathay sells, which it will, come on now, but if Cathay sells out and is sold out and makes Games Workshop a ton of money, then expect Kislev to not be far away. Like 100% expect them to not be far away. And maybe you'll start seeing, you know, more other stuff at the other factions that are in there. Never understood the hate for AOS. I'm glad to have Old World, but I'm happy people enjoy Age of Sigmar. Yeah, I mean, both things can exist side by side in the same way that Horus Heresy can exist alongside 40k, you know? And that's kind of the vibe, you know? The game design was archaic and the player base was toxic, so they couldn't get new players. Well, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. 40k has kind of started to arrive at that point, very much so, at where we're at. The nature of how games are played and the nature of how community works with Warhammer is different to the world that Age of Sigmar was born into. But 40k is approaching that point now where it's been around for so long that there are people who have the ultimate combo the moment the codex drops. Except they're not really in stores repelling customers by being like, oh, do you want to play a pickup game? Oh yeah, sure, let me just kick you in the face with this 2,000 point comp list. That's what Warhammer Fantasy Battles was. If you went into a Games Workshop, which is mostly, as a kid, that was the only place I knew you could play. Obviously there were clubs and stuff like that, but clubs had the same problem. But you went into a Games Workshop as a new player and you just got your Battle for Skull pass set and you want to play someone, and they're like, oh yeah, cool, and they throw down a block of Swordmasters of Hoeth with a wizard and a banner, and they go, right, I'm now going to table you, and you're not going to have a great time. It immediately takes all the fun out of it. So 40k is now at that same. It's slowly approaching that thing, but like I said, the way that you interact with the community, and the way that games are played, and all this kind of thing, the way community exists more online. The interactions you actually have with other people are confined to events, and if you don't want to go to an event, you're not there to experience a terrible experience. You can curate what you do in Warhammer much easier now. There's more options, basically. 40k though does run the risk of becoming, that 11th edition might be really impenetrable. It might be. It might just be that on day one of 11th edition, given as it's not an indexing, one would assume, it's rare that they index twice in a row. But 11th edition will be a continuation of 10th edition. It might be that from day one, everyone's just sat with super compy armies and beats everybody at games. But where are you doing it? At a community event. At a tournament. Not in your local Games Workshop, which was the previous tabletop wargaming hub for Warhammer. That said, I don't really know the situation with clubs, because I've never really been part of a club. Not really. Other than this club, which is the Warhipster club. But we're the cool club, you know? Hello, James. I really like the look of Cathay and will likely buy a couple of models to paint, but not going to go in on the Old World as a game. Yeah, there you go. I mean, that's the right way to be. In my opinion. I think I have two games. I have two games that I like to play. Age of Sigmar and 40k. And I have played Kill Team, I have played Underworlds, I've played Warhammer Fantasy Battles, I've played Warcry, I've played all the other ones, but I don't collect them in earnest. But I paint lots of different things for lots of different game systems, because obviously my main enjoyment and job comes from painting Warhammer rather than playing with it. And I derive a lot of joy from painting when I'm in a good headspace. which I am at the moment. I know nobody asked. That wasn't me saying, why aren't you asking? But that's just me inserting my mental health into the conversation. Which therefore makes it sound like I've got something I need to talk about, but I don't have something I need to talk about. I'm all good. Don't worry. Anyway, that was a random foray into a strange universe. I think Combi Melter screams the most Imperial Fist, doesn't it? Let's do that. And do you know what? Just for you, chat. Just for you. I'm going to do something I don't normally do. I'm going to drill the barrel. That's what we're going to do. And just clean it up first. Is that a euphemism? I wish. No, in this instance, it's a literal going to drill a hole out of the barrel. Before I do it, does anyone have any tips on how they drill their barrels? Or should I just do it how I normally do it? And woe betide the consequences. That or a default Storm Bolter. A Storm Bolter would make sense, but I think this is probably the more competitive option. I think it's a more efficient option. Alright. What I basically do is I eyeball it with a knife and make a guide like that. And like that. And then use my drill. And then find my guide and give it a little drill, and then just check that we're vaguely in the middle. Yeah, that looks alright, doesn't it? Okay. That's alright. It's probably just a little bit over to the right. That one definitely is in here. So what we can do is correct it. By just widening the hole with a knife a little bit, basically. Yeah, the bolt is better. What diameter bit is that? It's the smallest one that the old Games Workshop drill used to have. I don't know the actual size. then what we can just do is do that. There we go. And I can check it here. Where I can actually see what I'm doing. Yeah, that looks all good. Really, really small. Yeah, exactly. Hello, Captain Mannerings. Hello, Mr. Gwatkin. Why have I never done that? My drilling is so off-center usually. Yeah, no, that's what... I used to just eyeball the drill bit. And then I was like, no, hang on. Put a guide hole in. That'll do it. That will help. Ideally, you wouldn't even have to eyeball it, but there we go. How does this arm go on? Oh, it just... There's a little lip on it. That's interesting. Okay. There's a little lip on the Terminator arm, which I've never noticed before. See that just in there? That's the indicator as to where the arm is supposed to interact with the lip on the armor. Which is cool. I mean, it's a shame it's not like just got a guide peg on it, but there we go. It's got a bit more of a... It's meant to be like that. Looking to the right. Wondering what you think about GW's old versus new modelling tools. Lots of people I know rave about the new stuff being crap and the old being great. Look, I mean, it all depends on... There's personal preference, right? There are some really old... There's basically which iteration of the tools are you talking about, essentially. I think this is the drill that I have from Citadel. This is the... I think it's the second drill... or third drill that they made. It's not the newest one, it's the one before the newest one. The newest one that they made wasn't very good. The reason it wasn't very good was because... Where is it? I do have it. There it is. So... This is the latest one they made. So as you can see, it's lost like half an inch of length. But as a consequence of that, it means in my hand, this thing is really uncomfortable to use, which is why I don't like it. What I do really like is this kind of hard lip here for getting through a testing drill, through a testing piece that you're trying to drill through. But I'm having to hold the drill on my ring finger there rather than on my pinky, so I don't have that much in kind of workroom if I'm trying to do this. And then also the actual twisting mechanism, which is here, is back there. So if I'm holding it with my pinky finger there, I'm having to use my middle finger and thumb to screw it, which is just a really uncomfortable experience for me with my hands. So that's why I do not like this drill. Whereas this one, I can hold it with my pinky, and I can move it with my thumb and my index finger, like that. See? Which is just a comfortable way for me to do things. It's much larger on the end here as well, whereas that bit on the end isn't very big. So like that and that, you see? It's just harder to grip this one, so I don't like this drill from Citadel. But what I do like, again, so the older, the last iteration of the hobby knife was this one, which is all metal knife, and this is the current version of the knife. And I think this knife is fantastic, and the reason being, again, how it feels in the hand. It's got this kind of it's got this concaved section here, which adds to an ergonomic grip, as it were. The twisting mechanism is back here. It's not here at the either at the end or locked in up this end. The end of that knife is where you. So it's the same thing. To change the blade, you twist and then you push, and that will loosen the blade up here to let it go. But so you twist that back up to tighten it, right? The problem with this one is, again, it doesn't feel so nice in my hand, and it's tough to grip, right? There's also no guard here, so you spend a lot of time putting pressure when cutting. I don't know anybody who is able to use, at least I haven't met them, I'm sure maybe some of you do, where you put your thumb here, right? And you've got all of this area of the blade extended beyond your thumb in order to cut or clean, because a lot of people use the back of the knife to clean components, which is what I've started doing. Well, I've been doing it for ages now, but that was a change I made. I used to use the mold line remover for everything, but now I just have two tools on my desk. The mold line remover is still good, but you know, I don't use it. I use the knife because it's much more precise. But I don't know anyone where the grip is there. So when your grip is all the way back here, and you're trying to smooth down, let's say we're trying to smooth down this part of the thing. What the problem with a knife when you're using, because the knife has some bend to it, okay? So you can see here, right? I'll do this. It's got a flex to it, right? When you come up against something that you're smoothing down, when you're smoothing down with the back of your knife rather than the front of your knife, when you're doing that across the piece, if you are doing it too far away from here, where the sturdiest part of the blade is, what it will do sometimes, it will judder across the piece. So rather than smooth it down, it will go. So what you end up with is like these micro cuts in the plastic, which you then have to smooth down more. That's why I like this knife, because the grip is there. You see? Right there. So you can see the difference in terms of comfortable use. So there's like 2 centimeters there, whereas there is the entire blade length there. So I've got way more control with this knife. It also feels nice in my fingers, like that. So it's just nice. It's nice to hold. It's a nice. And when I'm putting pressure on the blade, I'm putting it on plastic. Nothing's digging into my thumb. Whereas on this one, if I'm doing what I normally do, I'm pressing there, which means eventually, you see, there's the difference, which is just uncomfortable for me. Do they use the same blade? They do indeed. What the metal portion was on the black knife. Oh yeah, that's the you do that, and that's how you remove the blade and tighten it back up, and the blade won't go anywhere. Clippers are as clippers do. Whatever your preference is for clippers, use clippers. And then mold line remover. Mold line removers are a really nice bit of kit, but they're not necessary if you are trusting yourself with a knife. But the mold line remover doesn't have that juddery effect because it's a more solid piece of metal, and it's also, you're not going to cut yourself with it. But I use the Citadel clippers because I just like them. I like how reassuringly big they are. They've also got a nice cut to them. Is what it is. How do you go about thinning Retributor armor? It seems quite fidgety. It's the same way it's the same way I thin any paint, really. Apply it to your palette. Add water until you can run your brush through it and it doesn't leave two canyons. And remember, like, if paint looks like it's separating, especially metallics, if metallics look like they're separating on the palette, just give them a zhuzh with your brush and they're now not separated. Basically. There you go. I hope that was a fun detour through Citadel tools. What kind of melee weapon are you going to put on this Imperial fit? Wait a minute, never mind. Yeah, you figured it out. Mold line remover is probably my most used Citadel tool. That and the paint pot. Yeah. So this is the thing: is I think on the internet you'll find a bunch of people who will tell you that mold line removers are a waste of time and they're a scam and don't buy them. They're really good. They are really good as a piece of kit for removing mold lines. What you're not gonna do with a mold line remover is gouge out huge parts of the miniature by applying too much pressure with a mold line remover. You might take a little bit of an extra sliver off, but you're not going to do as much damage as you can with a knife. The thing that's in favor of doing your scraping with the back of your knife is that there is a little bit more precision, so you are able to get into tighter areas. But if you're literally taking the mold lines off the leg of a Space Marine, the mold line remover is perfect for it because you don't have to apply that much pressure. It just gets it off. They're really, 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 really good. Don't listen to anyone who says mold line removers are terrible. They're not. They're really, really, they're very, very clever and they're very, very cool. The little metal one you get in the... I've got it here. I've actually got two of them. I have 3 iterations of the mold line remover. This one is sadly quite old now, so it's lost a lot of its potency. My favourite of the 3... here we go. So I have this one. This is the last iteration. I have the newer one here. And this one. My favourite of the 3 is either this one or that one. Only just because it's just got a little bit more of a satisfying heft. You can be more precise with this one than with the other two. Because, I mean, look, you can see the difference between the blade thickness, basically. And you do also get the little base cleaner, which is cool. Base cleaner works like this. You go in. If anyone was wondering what that nook was for, it's for cleaning your bases. In case you didn't know. So that's what it's for. Yeah, there you go. I have found, like, you can do it both ways. I have found the easier way to do it is this way. You can do it that way. But there's just a slightly worse angle on it. Do it that way. And there you go. I've never cleaned a base. Am I a bad person? No, you don't. You don't have to clean your bases. It's only if the bases have got like a little bit of extra plastic or something that they shouldn't have. For example, it's there as a maybe in case there's a defect of the base. Squishy Moose Miniatures. Hello there, Josh. Can't stay for long as my rehearsal schedule is always Monday and Wednesday. But much love. Much love to you, Squishy Moose. Thank you very much for... What are you rehearsing? Out of interest. Texture paint if you get some on the edge. Ah, that's a good thing. Yeah, you could use it to clean off texture paint if you get an overlap. I hadn't thought about that. There you go. That's another use case for it. I mean, look. This one's much nicer to hold than this one because it's just smooth metal, right? So it's harder to grip. I've never gotten grip blisters from using these plastic ones because they've just got a nice texture to them. I have gotten it from using these metal ones. Right? But the blade on this one was better than this one, but this one does come with the base cleaner, so it is what it is. Same for the one that comes in the Citadel tools. This one's... I've had this one for ages. I got this when they first started doing it, so as you can see it's a little bit rusted. Actually, that's not rust. That's paint. It's a little bit grubby. But yeah. But there you go. Even when I'm just building a Terminator Captain, still teaching. That's what we do around here. I hope you guys like me. Remember to like the stream, everybody. Nobody uses mold line removers. The internet tells them not to. Must listen to the internet. That's exactly it, Sam Paints. But I'm sure not badly. I love how successful AOS models were at Golden Demon this year, once again proving AOS greater than 40k model-wise. Yeah, I mean, look, that speaks to what we were talking about earlier with a lot of people saying, ha, look, tells you everything you need to know about AOS. AOS just one Slayer Sword. Okay, it was the artist, but they were using an AOS miniature. The Sons of Bahamut, Mega Gargant, Wrestling a Kraken, that won it as well. Skink, that's one I can remember as well. $40k might be the game that a lot more people play, but I think painters love an AOS model because there's so much more interest and variation, and variety, which is the same two things, just a different way of saying the word. In AOS than there is in 40k. Especially given that, like, in the last 2 years of 40k, a lot of it has been redos of models that you already had. So there's not, like, a huge amount that's going on that's very different, whereas AOS is constantly, and I mean, look, they did it a little bit with Skaven Tide with the... a lot of the Skaven kits were a redo, as were the Liberators and the Prosecutors and the Night Quester. The Lord Salastant, Lord Relictor as well. They got redos. And I'm genuinely surprised that Judicators didn't get a redo as well. Though I do understand why Retributors and that didn't, because Annihilators exist now. But I think AOS has not just been stuck in a redo loop based on everything else that's also come out for them so far. Currently building Kroot. Not sure what I want my colour scheme to be. I kind of want it to be something darker to match my suits. Maybe greyish skin, then red quills. What greys do you like? That's a good question. If you want it to be cold, but have a little bit more aspect of organic nature to it, I would encourage you to look at something like Space Wolves Grey or Griff Charge Grey over Grey Seer rather than Wraithbone to match with a colder battlesuit. Otherwise, I mean, you could always try using Basilicanum Grey, but like Basilicanum Grey at that scale consistently across all of those miniatures is going to be hard to get looking something cool. It's also just a little bit too cold. It's not a very organic colour in that respect. Where's the box for this thing gone? Oh, it is quite back. Okay, let's just put it on. As an AOS painter, whenever I see a Space Marine spear, I'm baffled at the number of components and options, but posing the arms differently isn't the same as an interesting model to paint. Yeah, well, exactly, Martin. Yeah, exactly correct. And I'm with you. Like, I like to have the agony of choice taken away from me when I'm building my miniatures, because if I've got less that I have to choose, then the better for me. This is annoying. You can only have a bare head for the Terminator Captain. Well, which one do we go with? I'll let chat decide. Actually, we'll do the shoulder and then I'll let chat decide. Is Rattling Grime grey? It is, but what it has is got a lot more tones of brown in it. It's more akin to something like Storm Vermin Fur, as opposed to... depends what you mean by grey, but I would say that grey to me looks like Dawnstone, Mechanicus Standard, Administratum. Like, that to me is grey. Rattling Grime is more of a grey-brown. Okay, chat. You have a decision to make on my behalf. For our Imperial Fists Terminator Captain, which head do we use? And come a little bit closer. We've got this one here with a metal head, or this one with scars. Which one do you like? So we've got one upper, two upper. The top left has less face. This one. Scars, scars. Okay, let me... I can count the votes a little bit easier if you say scars or eye patch. Scars, scars, scars. Thomas says both. Scars, 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 scars. Give him 2 heads. I think you guys have decided you want the scars, right? Let's go with scars. Sorry, eye patch friends. The scars have it. Oh, I just realised. Sarge, what 1010? Thank you very much for becoming a member. That is very kind of you. We're on 376. A mere 24 away from our goal of 400. Magnetize and use both. No. Yeah, I like that. Oh, itchy chin. Okay, we are 2 components away from finishing. Let's go, baby. Wait, why is there a different... What's 10? Where does component 10 go? Oh, you son of a bee. I missed one. That's alright, Steve. I'm sorry that happened to you. I've had that happen to me. Actually, do you know what? One of the funniest ones I had was Amazon, my Amazon account got hacked many years ago now, and somebody put in an order. I can't remember what game it was. It was like Final Fantasy 14 or something, but they put in an order for, it was like 20 copies of Final Fantasy 14, which Amazon obviously then went, no. Seems sus. So they managed to hack my account, get to the point of ordering, and then ordered 20 copies of one thing, and then they didn't get anything. But I was trying to order something, and it was like, no, sorry, you're a fraudster. And I was like, hey, wait, what? Come again for Warhipster? Right, tilting shield, where do you go? In there. Okay. It's probably sensible to actually do it on this bit, isn't it? Do that. Marvellous. Component 22, where do you go? I got in trouble with Amazon, and it was, again, there was another one where it wasn't even my fault, but it was back when Love Film was a thing. What happened was, I was using Love Film to rent games, and there was this period of about 3-4 months where they would send me a game and I would play it, and then I would dutifully go and put it in the post box at the top of our road. And then Amazon would be like, why haven't you returned the game yet? Love Film would be like, why haven't you returned the game yet? And I'm like, I have. I put it in the post box like you told me. They were like, all right. Anyway, it turned out that basically our local post office was a new hire who had just taken to nicking Love Film games. But Amazon thought it was me doing it, but it turns out it wasn't, because it was everyone who was a Love Film subscriber in the area. It turned out that from my postcode, no Love Film things that were being put in the post box were being delivered. I just bought an Ogre Moor Pit on eBay. I bid on things I don't expect to win them. That's why I don't go on eBay very often. because I know that I'll bid on things like Realm of battle boards, which I really, really want. The old plastic ones that Games Workshop used to make. I really want the old City Imperialis one, and I want the Age of Sigmar one. No one has them, and they don't sell them anymore. And occasionally one comes up on eBay, and I'm like, ooh, but it's always like 400 or 500 quid, and I'm like, no, I can't. The Realm of Battle. Hang on, I'll show you them. Go over here. So, it's this one. I really, really want this. So this is the old Age of Sigmar Shattered Dominion one. Swenils, thank you very much for becoming a member. That is very kind of you. That puts us on 377, 23 away. But yeah, so that's the old Shattered Dominion one. Currently unavailable. See if we can get a... That's what it looks like. And the Sector Imperialis one was this one. That one, which is lovely. And then there was the plain one, which was this one. That one there. That was the plain one. He's not off center. His head looks like it's center. That looks fine to me. Did they make a chaos? They made a battle mat that was a chaos battle mat. A little while ago. But it was only a 4x4 battle map. I had it, and then I lost it. I put it in a box that somebody looked after for me, and then they got rid of the box, which is fine because I didn't need it. It was a 4x4 mat. It was fine. The old Forge World ones were really nice as well, the tiles that they made, but they were massive chunks of resin, which I don't think they make anymore. But that was where the crashed Thunderhawk used to come from, I believe. Yeah. Yeah. That one. Crash Thunderhawk. Look at that. Oh. All resin. Yeah. It's sad. I get why they don't make them. Neoprene battle mats are just better. Well, and the flat card ones are just better and easier for them to make. But I do miss those Realm of Battle ones. I keep hoping that they'll do a made-to-order of it and I'll buy one, but they haven't. You have one of those, do you, Kotaro? The AOS one, the Shattered Dominion. I'm gonna go and look now. eBay. Shattered Dominion. Bored. Oh my god. Oh, there's one here, but it's... Oh, there's one there. That's painted. Boo! Oh, I want it so bad. Ends in 5 days. Oh, should I bid on it? I really don't have the money. I'm gonna like it. Add to watch list. Let's have a look. We'll wait. We'll see. How about I donate mine? Mate, shipping it from where you are will be an absolute... will cost you an absolute bomb. Don't do that. Hello, Sly Guy. Well, we've built our captain. Captain's built. So that's good. I can't really do anything else, because everything else I'm not allowed to show you. Which is a shame. So I guess we'll just talk for a bit. Any questions? We've got about 10, 15 minutes left of stream. So if you've got any questions, any compliments, any insults, any thoughts, any super chats, any members, now is your time. Anyone else find it weird that the recently teased Ravenous for Kill Team are in a group of 5 when a max size unit in 40k is 6? Also love the High Fleet Typhon scheme. Hope you do a video on it eventually. I don't think it's that weird. I think the Kill Team will replace the current data sheet for Ravenous. Ravenous will go, but what you're instead of it being a unit of 6, you now get a unit of 5, but you've got specialists, so you'll have extra weapons and options in the thing, which will account for the missing 6th member, basically. I think is what the vibe is going to be there. Actually, I have one if you wouldn't mind. Shoot, fire away. Paint Bard's family. They are not primed. I would need to prime them. Restream bot with 10 gifted Warhipster memberships. Getting down to business right there. That's very, very kind of you. Thank you so much. That's very kind of you. I appreciate that. Come back from a meeting and hear Josh asking for members. Oh, I always am doing that, just not necessarily on the live stream. Favorite D&D class? Well, there's 3 that I've played. I've played the Ranger, which I really enjoy. Archery focused Ranger. I've played an Oath of Vengeance Paladin, which is really fun. And Barbarian. I think of the 3, Oath of Vengeance Paladin's probably my favourite, just because of like the character options you have with it, the role-play elements of it. Just because it's quite fun to just be an Oath of Vengeance Paladin. Essentially just being like, nope, I refuse to do anything that's counter to my oath, which is just a fun way of doing it. Bit of an awkward question for dealing with black paint. Trying to paint Ravenwing and the tyre should be a different colour than the black armour. Would it be Legion for armour and bike and Templar tyres? Kind of, that is what I would do, yeah. I think if you're going to use Black Templar on the tyres, though, what you'll need to do is you'll need to pre-shade it. Use either a grey. You use grey. If you put Basilicanum grey down and then Black Templar over the top, the two will be 2 very different colours then. And then you can always dry brush the tyres with Karak Stone to give it a little bit of a dirty grey highlight if you want to just do the whole thing in Black Legion. Because the highlight can completely change how a model looks. Similarly, if you paint all of the armour with Black Legion and the tyres with Black Legion, but you shade all the armour with Nuln Oil, you'll get 2 different black colours there as well. I'm about to start painting Horus Ascended following your guide. Any final tips? Have fun with it. Take your time. Otherwise, it's all in the guide, I'm afraid. How are you so handsome? I don't know. If you'd like my skincare regimen, it's lack of sleep. That's how I get these bags. And occasionally I get spots in my hairline like that one, which I picked earlier, and it's bled for the entire 2 hours, which is fun. Just wipe that off. Cool, that's going to do it again. Do you have a favourite from Golden Demon? Yeah. Yeah, the Slayer Sword winner. Hands down. I just thought it was spectacular. I can't remember the name, though. Hang on, I'm going to go find it. Golden Demon winners. Yeah. It was... I'm not even going to try and pronounce the name. But the Iridan is just beautiful. It's truly beautiful. It's lovely to see Iridan the Witness painted so well. Really flying the flag for Age of Sigmar. And of course it's a Stormcast Eternal, so, you know, I'm always going to be biased in that regard. Just want wolves already. Yeah, I'm with you. I'd like to add to my Space Wolves. As I mentioned, we've even got on the channel, we've got how to paint Space Wolves tanks, but we don't have Imperial fists. So we've got Space Wolves. We've got the Space Wolves Gladiator. Need to get another Gladiator basically for to do an Imperial fists one, but we'll do that a little bit later on. I don't have the time to do it now, so it's not a pressing matter at the moment. I feel like when you paint with your contrast paints, you have much less of the shade part of it compared to what I see when I use them. Do you thin them down a bit, or are just that skilled? It's probably a skill issue on my part. But Sarge, what you're possibly doing is overloading your brush with too much paint, and then having too much of the brush make contact with the model. You basically just want to have enough paint on your brush that it's wet all the way through, but no drip forms if you just hold it upside down for a moment. And then you want to glide across the surface of your miniature rather than brush it on. So if you picture like using... I do have a stream on this. It's the splotches, blotches and scratches one. It's on the VOD currently. I need to edit it to put it out as a proper video, but you can still see that stream. It's about paint management on the brush. If you've got too much, then all of that darker pigment will flow out of the brush onto the model and it will just sit on the flat surfaces. If you don't have enough, it comes out scratchy on the surfaces because the paint dries on your brush basically. This is why you want the brush all the way wet through, but you don't want it to be forming a drip basically. And that's when you've got the perfect amount. And like I said, you want to just gently glide across the surface of the model rather than feel the bristles come out like this, basically. Essentially, the difference being, I'll show you now. When you're painting with your contrast paint, you want to come across the surface of the model like this, whereas if you do that, what happens here is all of your darker pigment is collecting up here. So when you do that, you're leaving behind the darker pigment on the model. Whereas if you're sticking to here, the lighter pigment is more towards the tip of the brush, right? So you're still getting a mix of the two, but you're just gently applying it rather than brushing it on like this. Pressure is quite important for it, as it were. I was trying a paint scheme and you didn't have any Raven Wing guides, so I'm going off of making your own scheme video. There you go, Sly Guy. I mean, you've got it. Yeah, you absolutely. Any plans to do more color videos? I really like the black armor, purple, and red cloak ones. Yeah, I mean, look, eventually I'll do some more of those. It's just when do you have a time to get it, and what's appropriate on a certain amount of models, right? The thing with the cloaks video was I had 10 Chaos Warriors to do, so I was like, this is a good way to do this rather than do how to paint Chaos Warriors. I was like, I can use these for that. So yeah, eventually we'll get to doing more of those, but we shall have to see. Andy Wardle's Horse and Rider. Yeah, that one is beautiful. My favourite is the Sister/Orc duel. Love the story it tells with so little. Yeah, I mean, look, a Golden Demon is always an incredible showcase of some amazing talent out there. I think all of the winners are always thoroughly deserved. And yeah, just the standard keeps going up and up and up. That's why I'll never win one. Ever. I don't even get a pin when I go, you know. But yeah, yeah, they've done. There's some really excellent work. It's very original work as well this time round, I think, which is really cool. Andy Wardle's one is brilliant. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful piece. Yeah. Yeah, it's gorgeous. But yeah. I liked the Iridan too, but I love the story and the guy with his horse. Yeah, yeah. It's absolutely fantastic. What would you recommend to highlight Dark Reaper? Dark Reaper. Thunderhawk Blue is really good for highlighting Dark Reaper. If you want to go a little bit brighter, Rust Grey. Squeaks coming out of the cave was a favourite of mine. Yeah. See, I appreciate the advice. I'll keep it in mind for the future. I think I am pushing down too hard. Still learning finer brush control. Yeah, it is a slight change in how to paint with contrast paint, because you're changing your technique versus applying your base and layer paints. Because your base and layer paints, it's like Cavalier, just go have fun. As long as it's thinned down, you should be fine. Whereas with contrast paint, if you just treat it a little bit more gently, it will do a lot more work. If you treat it the same way as a base or layer paint, it will do work very quickly, much quicker than a base or layer paint, but it'll leave that coffee staining and that spotting behind, which is what people don't want from the paint. It's why when contrast paint first came out, everyone went to their local Games Workshop to first try it out, and the Games Workshop manager would just go, "Here you go, here is a medium shade brush, have fun," and then people would just load it up and then just whack it on, and then it wouldn't look like a box art model. And they were like, "Well, this isn't one coat, I'd have to do loads of work to fix this, this is rubbish, these paints suck," which is not true, as you know, we've proved over the last 6-7 years, and many others have also gone ahead and proved it as well. David Hill, thank you so much for the 5 gifted Warhipster memberships. That is very, very kind of you. I appreciate that. Is the new Orc Kill Team scheme the new recommended scheme compared to the old Commandos, which layered contrast over Auric flesh, I think, for Orc skin? Oh, yeah, no, I think I answered you earlier. Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's how I'd recommend doing it, because it's just quicker and more effective, I think. Swennels upgraded their membership to Battle Hipster. Thank you very much, Swennels. That's alright, Restream. Don't worry about it. The Glorfindel made me question my life as a painter in a good way. I've got a Glorfindel to do. Yeah, I'm excited to do a Glorfindel, and I've got an Elrond to finish as well. Just need to find that footage. I don't know where it's gone. Which colours would you use to highlight the dark red metal of a blood crusher? It depends how dark red you've gone, you know. Like what? It's easier to know what the base colour is, and I can tell you what I'd highlight it there. If I was to do dark red, I would either follow something like Abraxia's cape, or essentially get red on there, then give it a shading with Cygor brown to get it really, really deep red, and then highlight it. But I'm not entirely certain how I would paint Blood Crushers, which is why I haven't done it yet, other than the Lord Invocatus, which has the Juggernaut's black, I think, in the Lord Invocatus, if I remember rightly. But one thing you can do, if you've done a metallic colour, or if you've done a contrast paint over a metallic to get a shiny metallic version of that contrast paint, highlight with the same metallic that you just used. It works. Or use a brighter one and then use a lighter version of contrast. So, for example, if you were to do Retributor armor and then throw Flesh Terrors red over the top, highlight it with Liberator gold and then highlight it with Blood Angels red. It works. It's really good. Hello, Will. Do you think we'll see a wave 3 of contrast this summer? I'm actually starting to think no, we won't. Because they've stopped talking about it ever since I mentioned it. So, I don't know if we will have it. I've no idea what this summer's gonna bring. People are convinced that it's Horus Heresy. I'm not. I don't think it is. Because what would you put in a Horus Heresy box that's new in plastic? Other than just 80 breaches. Or a mark of armor that isn't relevant. You know? It just seems strange as a thing. And if there is a new Horus Heresy box and it's a bunch of Mark 6 or Mark 4 or whatever again, it's kind of a bit of a... It's not a great main summer product, is it? Because not very many people are going to buy it. Given as you can currently buy a really good box. My apologies if you've given your opinion on them already and I've missed it, but have you tried the Too Thin Coats range? I haven't. I've got a couple of their metallics. I haven't got the rest of the range. I might buy some at UK Games Expo. I might ask them if I was to... What would you recommend for somebody who just wants a basic kit? Like, what are your top 10 that I can paint miniatures with? But I wouldn't use them. I wouldn't use them to like replace Contrast Plus because it would mean buying into another paint range, which some people don't have access to or don't have. So they'd open one of my videos and be like, "What's this?" I used Blood Angels Red over Iron Warriors base paint for context. Made the red come out dark and metallic. Oh, it sounds sick, Anthony. What you could then do in that instance is highlight it with Ironbreaker or Stormhost Silver, and then go over the highlights with Blood Angels Red again. But just like edge highlighting, not like a full contrast coat. If you edge highlight it with the silver, edge highlight it with Blood Angels Red over the top of the bright silver, what you'll get is bright silver metallic highlights. It's a good way of doing it. But I'd like to try out the Too Thin Coats range, I would. What is a battle hipster? It's one step down from a war hipster. And then one step up from a war hipster is Warhipster the Conqueror. Thank you, Josh. Really love your content. Certainly nice to have a creator who is so prolific and has literally any painting tutorial I could need. Oh, thank you, Swellels. Until you discover that I don't have a painting tutorial that you need, I shall try my best. I'm trying my best to try and get through everything eventually one day, someday maybe. I would love to. I'd love to paint the entire range of Games Workshop miniatures that ever existed and existed now. But I am just one man. I'm only a little boy. Hello, welcome back, Jason. Good evening, Mini Painting Dad. Just finished following up the Asmodee tutorial up to Battle Ready. Really like how it turned out. Not sure if I want to go further past it in fear of messing up. Well, that's what Battle Ready's for. That's why we get things to Battle Ready. It's a good place to stop. It already looks great. So, you know, then it's all good. You can just stop there. That was a change. I used to paint every colour up to completion. So, like, we're going to do the armour. Red. Highlight, highlight. And this, that, and the other. But now it's like, no, let's just get them to Warhipster Battle Ready. And then we go on. Element Games in London is now open and stocks Duncan Road. So I'm grateful for the options. Same with the Army Painter stuff. Oh, awesome. Firestorm Games is about to open a new branch in Gloucester, which is just round the corner from me. Colonel, did you get my email with my March submission? I did. I have it here. You did go mad. You painted a lot of miniatures this month. Well done. Well done. What are your initial thoughts on how to get the cool terracotta look for the new statue boys for Cathay? I think you can either make that really... I think you can either do it really slowly or really quickly. the best way you could do those terracotta statues is find a primer and dry brush it. And you'll be done. When is the next Tales? Do you know, I don't actually know the answer to that question. Let me go and find out. View your channel. Live. That's the one we want. Mute that. The stream is allegedly on the 13th of April. Is the next one. Yeah. How to get the cool terracotta look. Let me look at it. There is going to be a way to do it with contrast paints. And it's kind of like, again, if Games Workshop sends me them, then we'll have to see. But like the terracotta one, it's basically Gore Grunter fur, right? And then you would want to probably use Reichland Flesh Shade or something like that over the top, just to bring it down just a little bit more, and then dry brush it with something like Karak Stone to put an element of stone in there. Is probably the simplest way of doing it. The fun thing about those is that it's going to be, if they do send me them, is going to be a video that essentially either you can just do with a primer, like the grey one, for example, prime it with Mechanicus Standard, then stipple in a little bit of Black Templar here and there just to put some darkness into it in certain areas and to add some shading. Wash the whole thing with Nuln Oil, dry brush it up from Dawnstone Administratum Grey, and then it's done. The terracotta one is probably, that's how I would probably do it, Gore Grunter Fur. That or thin down Cygor Brown, but quite a lot of thinned down Cygor Brown. So like thin it down sort of like 3 parts Lamia Medium to 1 part Cygor Brown. Because that'll bring out a really reddy brown in it. But then dry brush it up with with Karak Stone probably. One thing I can say is, having purchased all the paints for the record tutorial, my thought was, how many paints is that? Yeah, sometimes there's some videos with a lot of paints that get used, but remember, I use the same ones pretty much across all my videos all the time, so you're generally all good. I can only apologise. I tried to keep the paints down, but sometimes Games Workshop released a set of miniatures which is coloured in loads of different colours, so you have to use a bunch of different paints or not do it. And I can't help it. I have to try and get it looking box art as close as possible. It's been my best month yet. 6 Inner Circle companions and Asmodai have been painted. Your guides really make the process not bad. Oh, I'm glad, Sly Guy. Mini Painting Dad with 5 gifted Warhipster memberships. That is incredibly kind of you. Thank you so much. That puts us on 397. Incredible. Incredible scenes. Wish I could paint as much as all of you great guys, but as a dad with a job, I have so little time. I know, Mini Painting Dad. Someday you'll have more time. Someday I'll have more time. Maybe the day I retire from YouTube and I sell the channel to someone. Or I just, you know, stop. Or it just becomes my pension fund. 65? 70, maybe? Only another 30 years to go. My submission is almost ready, just one colour to go. The madness is in the magnetization. Awesome. You've got plenty of time to get your submissions in. There's today. And you know, I might not even notice if you submit them tomorrow. I will notice if it's 2 or 3 days after the deadline. But you know, there's always tomorrow as well. Any thoughts for April's theme yet? No, not yet. April's theme surely has to be Fool related now. I mean, we could just call it April Fools. And April Fools would just be a fun one because you could tell me it's one thing and send me a picture of something completely different. Haha, joke's on us. That's the easiest one. Restream. Any ETA on the Fellowship? Not rushing you, just trying to plan my backlog. Thank you very much for the $20 reduce. That's very kind of you. As I mentioned before, the Fellowship are here in my close pile of stuff to do, which means they're not imminent, but it means that they are on the to-do list. That's upside down. It means that they are on the let's get these done sooner rather than later. Middle Earth is one of those things where I'm kind of waiting to see. Like, I know you're waiting to see where the Hera model is. I'm also waiting to see where the Hera model is. When I know something is coming, I want to just do a blast of all things Middle Earth. So we'll know. We'll know very soon. But I can't give you a date. But they're here rather than over there in the dumping ground. What is the oldest paint that you still use? What was it? Probably my pot of Plague Bearer Flesh. Or Agaros Dunes, actually. They're the ones I bought them when they first came out. And I haven't had to re-up them yet, so it's one of those two. Regarding Middle Earth, are the models on par with AOS and 40k? In the official pics, they look like old models, but I am unsure. A lot of them are old models. When they release a new kit, they are on par with AOS and 40k, but unfortunately, a lot of them are still quite old. So like Minas Tirith Warriors and stuff like that, they came out in 2004, 2003. So they are now 20-year-old models, and there are a lot of 20-year-old models in MESBG. But when you see something like the new Hera model that is yet to come out, or like Bolg, or Prince Imrahil, those models are on par with 40k and NOS models. But my goodness me, I've just realised the time. We've been talking for half an hour. Anyway, it's probably time for us to wrap up. When Idoneth happened, please do the Avatar of the Sea. Nobody has any tutorials. I had to paint one for work and literally had to wing it. It was a horrible experience. I'm sorry, Sam. Yes, as soon as I know more about what the Idoneth range looks like, if they're just getting a character or a unit, then we'll do more to go with it. That will be when hopefully we get some Idoneth stuff done. But tonight is the end of our stream because it's now 10 to 8. We've gone over by quite a bit. So thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. I think there's going to be a video tomorrow and Thursday, and we'll be streaming on Wednesday. Of course, all of this is up in the air. Don't know. There'll definitely be a video on Thursday for sure. Does the WD-40 help with painting? No, it helps with making sure my chair doesn't squeak. Which it can do sometimes because it's an old chair. When it gets hot, the grease in it dries out and it becomes this... It's horrible. That kind of thing. It's horrible. Anyway, thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. There's more content on the way, as always. Content every week. Always. All the time. Content forever. Anyway, here is the hand of farewell. I shall wave it at you. And I will see you all very soon in the next one. Love you guys. Bye for now. Bye.